Getting to A. How do you get the grade you want in your classes? Getting to A sounds like a really strange way of saying get an A in a class. And I remember hearing it in a lecture an experienced English teacher gave on the first day of class. I thought it was a typo when I saw the slide, but then she explained that earning a grade is different than getting a grade. When you earn a grade, you pretty much know by the end of class what your grade is going to be, and you're not too surprised. And it's kind of like, this motif of climbing a mountain. You prepare for it, right? So no mountain climber gets to the mountain and top of the mountain and says, "Oh, I'm really surprised I got here." They may feel tired, exhausted, spent. They may be in awe, but they're not, oh, I slipped and fell and ended up at the top of a mountain. And so I thought that was a great analogy for our topic today, which is study skills. So we're going to share some really practical tips and hopefully change your mindset about studying in a way that'll make you successful and help you earn the grades that you want in your class. So the first thing I'd like you to do when you get that schedule is to survey each class. So this is kind of like looking out at the landscape and seeing, is it bumpy? Is it a big valley? And what kind of tools am I going to need? Right? Every class is going to require something different. You're going to have a different type of studying in each class. So I have a list here of different learning tasks you're going to have to do, or strategies. I don't know what the right word is, but some classes you're going to have a lot of reading. So you're going to have to plan, how am I going to get all that reading done in the next 16 weeks? Some classes like history or biology courses are going to have a lot of memorization. And so you're constantly putting facts into your mind. How do you do it? How do you accomplish that? Other classes have new concepts that maybe you've never heard of before. So if you're in a philosophy class, there are these terms that have to do with describing. Everybody has a different theory of how we got here, how the human race got here, or what is the origin of people's thoughts about their origins. So there are going to be different concepts you have to learn according to the subject you're studying. And then some classes are going to have a bunch of writing and drafting and revising. So what kind of help is out there to make you a better writer? So the way I think of it is, there are two parts to the learning process. The first part is, how are you going to access that information, right? So if we have a lot of facts, one way to make it stick in our brain is to use a lot of repetition. You may know about flashcards, but there are other strategies to memorize information. So you have linking, so you might think of silly words or phrases or letters that link one word to another. Repetition, flashcards, speaking out loud. That's the whole thing with nursery rhymes, right? So before laptop computers, if you're in a one room schoolhouse, you might sing a song and that would help you remember verses, lyrics, or anything like that. Facts. Practice with failure. That's the term I use for writing, which is something you can only learn by doing and receiving feedback and then going back and doing it again and receiving feedback. Math equations, you have to practice and you have to get some wrong in order to learn it, right? So failure is not bad. Failure helps us remember better than, and so we know, okay, I know where I went wrong, so I learned from that, right? So I learned by doing. You can personalize work, whether it's using a journal, putting yourself in the context. Like, imagine yourself at a certain time in history, right? How would your life be different if you were born a decade or two, or a generation or two previous? Or how do you think it's going to be in the future? What things are you going to know now that might fade away? So personalizing information, doing jumping jacks, being kinetic, right? Doing stuff with your hands, using a rubber band. Those are ways to help remember. So you have to kind of find a strategy to access information and put it in your brain. Visual associations, I'm a very visual person. I can probably tell you where something is. I can see a page in my mind and tell you, okay, it's in the second or third paragraph. I don't know what page number, but I know what it came before and know what it came after, right? So your teachers are going to want you to show mastery. So you put the information in your mind. Your teacher is going to want you to show that you remember the information and you know why it's important, right? Your instructors always, they want, you probably hear this word all the time, context, right? Don't just regurgitate or spit information out, but show me why that information is important. And you might do that in a variety of ways. Some classes, there are no essays, there are only quizzes and tests. Some classes, there are only problems, word problems or equations. So those are tests again. And then some classes are mostly discussion based, right? So can you um, verbalize the facts that you remember and can you show why they're important and can you debate? Okay, so these are all different ways you're going to show mastery of your topics. So if you're never exposed to the topics, if you never take the time outside of class to read, to study, to think about stuff, you're not going to be able to show mastery. So studying has to do with practicing in different ways. So the next thing you have to do is make a plan. So as we discussed, that plan is going to be based on the type of class you're in and also what your strengths and weaknesses are. So first thing I want you to think about before you make your plan is look at the big picture, why you're in school, right? Because there's going to be some sacrifice involved. Studying outside of class, which is what you have to do to be successful, and what you want to do because you're on this big goal, right, of climbing a mountain, right? That's going to bring you away from some activities and some people that otherwise you'd be indulging in, right? Because you have a goal, you have a large goal. So it's going to tax your mind. You have some late nights, some early morning. But I really want you to stop and count the cost and tell yourself this is what you want to do. And these are the reasons why. Make it real for yourself. You might make a vision board or a mantra or write down, I had a little notebook with my goals and I would just write down every little thing. Like maybe I registered for a class that had to do with a big goal I had. I would print out the registration and paste it in my notebook or find an inspiring picture or of someone who was where I wanted to be and put a little story in there about that person and why they inspired me. So you really have to personalize this goal. It's not just about getting in school. That's the first step. It's about succeeding once you're there. So you want to make a plan, and the number one rule is consistency. So do the same thing at the same time in the same place every day. You're going to have a routine. You're going to have a workspace. Another thing is you want to communicate with your instructors. They are people just like you. They want you to be successful. Get over that feeling of shyness or shame or yes, they represent somewhat an authority figure, but you know what? They're a person like you are. you know, they put their pants on the same way you do in the morning. So people who communicate with their instructors are going to be more successful. They're going to receive that extra boost and that extra help that they need. Don't just communicate after the fact when something goes wrong. Start that habit early. And another thing I want you to do is set deadlines within deadlines. So you're going to have some projects or some big tests or some big assignments in every class, and you want to break those down as much as possible. So if I have a big midterm, I want to put together all my study guides or all my tests leading up to that midterm because most likely they're going to be connected, right? So I'm going to find out, okay, what did I do wrong on each test and how can I put that information together so I can be successful on the midterm? If I have a huge paper, I'm not going to wait till the night before and write the whole paper then. I'm going to make little goals for myself. I want to have 1 page done, 2 pages done, and then maybe get some feedback on that. Have the paper done a couple days before the deadline. Have somebody look at it. Okay, so these are strategies you have to, all they take is discipline, right? It just takes discipline. I don't have to be the best writer. I just have to have something done. So as we mentioned before, every class is going to demand something different. You want to actually write out, these are my strategies for this class. I'm going to use flashcards. I'm going to use a study guide. I'm going to use a study partner, right? I'm going to use the writing lab. I'm going to have a mentor review my work for me. You have to literally list out what are the strategies you're going to use. I'm going to study 1 hour every other day. I'm going to read 5 pages before breakfast. I'm going to wake up half an hour early every day so that I can write notes on this chapter. What are the strategies you're going to use for each class? Okay, so the next thing is you actually have to do the work. It's kind of like signing up for that diet or that fitness challenge. Um, yeah, I can sign up, but I have to show up to do it, right? I have to count the calories or I have to press play or I have to go, we're not going to the gym right now, but I have to go to my workout area and actually do it. And when you think about studying, I want you to think about chunking your work, right? So, as we said in the last slide, consistency is key. So, that means a little bit over a long period of time rather than a lot over a short period of time. So, we're not talking about cramming because cramming doesn't help information get into the long term memory. What does help information get into long term memory is if you study a little bit every day and then you go back to previous material, right? So, you study your current material and then go back briefly to previous material. It's going to stick, right? And so you're going to go to that workspace that you have. You're going to look at every class and just see what's going on. Just click around, just see the discussion board. And if you have nothing to do, send an encouraging note to someone or send a thank you note to your instructor. Um, and as we said before, find your large projects and break them up. And finally, you're going to kind of take a moment and review your success or lack thereof, right? Either way, it's a journey and we're learning something no matter what. So you're going to look at your results. Try not to think of it as an either or proposition. Either I succeed or I fail. Life is not like that. Life is a lot of successes littered with failure. Our failure gets us to success. However, we should not be surprised with our results. We want to look at that grade and be honest with ourselves and say, yeah, this is how I got to that grade. Okay. Think about what that grade means to us. Sometimes a B can mean more than an A, depending on the work that you put in to get that B, or even a C, right? We're not strong in every area. Some people are, but most people have lots of gifts, but they're not gifted in everything. And then you want to take time to reflect and think, what can I do next time to maximize my learning opportunities? Everything is an opportunity, and you can get better no matter uh, what happens, what the outcome is, even if it's not the outcome you want. It can propel you into to being a better person. The only thing is, don't be surprised with your grade. So we have lots of people here at Delgado to assist you. My name is Christine Foy-Jackson, and my email is on this slide. I can make a referral for you to advisors in different programs. We can let you know what kind of resources are out there, what kind of mentors are out there to help you with these study skills. So don't be afraid to reach out. There is help, and we do want you to succeed here at Delgado. So have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching this presentation.
That was some fantastic info from our Delgado family. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button below, as well as the bell to get notifications every time we post a new Chew and Chat episode. You can also follow us at Delgado Recruit on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, and at Izzy_Delgado 1921 on Instagram. To find out when our live stream events are happening, check out our website, www.dcc.edu/future-students/events. I'm Nikki with Recruitment and Outreach, and we'll see you next time.